This is the 2026 Volvo EX30. Is it worth your consideration? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We borrowed this EX30 from our friends at Volvo Cars of Shreveport. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. So this is an all-new model. It is the least expensive Volvo, but also the quickest Volvo you can buy in this day and age. It is an EV, and that's going to explain why you have the lack of a traditional grille up here. Now you're going to have all of this for aerodynamic purposes, but you'll also notice, I hope it shows up on the screen, that you have a topographical map right here. You're going to have the nice Volvo logo right there that is going to look a little more like the traditional logo. We will have some air intake right here to help keep the battery nice and cool, and then full LED lighting with the LED daytime running lights, the LED turn signal indicator, your LED low and high beams. This model will be all-wheel drive, and the wheels are 19 inches. Tell me what you think about this wheel design. I know a lot of people might say that just doesn't look that great. What's the purpose? Well, there is a purpose. It's aerodynamics. That's why it's built the way that it is. Obviously, the name of the game here with any EV is to help cheat the wind as much as possible, to keep the charge capacity as high as possible for as long as possible. We're going to have our power adjustable side view mirrors. These are frameless mirrors. We'll have our cameraman come over on the side right here and show you what's going on where that is concerned. They're power adjustable and they're going to be folding. You're going to have your blind spot monitoring built in. Now, one thing to note right here, normally I would show you the key about this point in the video. Here's what you have. It's actually a card. Now you will come up to the EX30. Right here is where you're going to hold that to unlock the vehicle. So if you're wondering about how that works, there is one of the questions that are answered. Now, it's not usually this easy to show this to you, but you have your roof rails, or I should say crossbars up here, more so than roof rails, a very different design. So they're just built into these pieces right here. I wouldn't even call those roof rails, but the crossbars do allow for a little bit of additional cargo space up top. You do have a panoramic sunroof that is affixed in place. It does not have a power shade, and it doesn't open or close. Your charge port will be located right here, so depending on what type of charging system you want to use, you can do that accordingly. We're going to put all that back in there just like that. And LED tail lights. I do like the design right here. That looks nice. LED tail lights down here in this area, and then there's your EX30 logo and the Volvo logo back here. Now, the way this is all designed, you will not find this on any other Volvo model. You will have the small rear roof spoiler. That's one reason why you have the exposed rear window wiper back here, because there just isn't quite enough room up there for it. And how about unlocking and locking your EX30? Everything is controlled with your card, and you'll see right here, we're going to show you real close up so you can see that's where you need to hold the card. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hold it up just like this. This will unlock it. You can see that the vehicle is now unlocked, and when you get inside, I don't even have to get inside. Everything is already on and it's ready to go. So there you go with that. How do you turn everything back off? Well, basically the same process. So I'm going to close the door one more time, and too bad it doesn't have soft closed doors. I'm used to that because we just did a Land Rover that did. I'm gonna hold that on there again. It locks. You see the power folding mirrors folding in, and everything is now off. As is the case with many EVs, you're gonna have a front trunk or frunk area. The thing I like about that is that when I pull on the release, I'd have heard that when I pull on it 2 times, I don't have to go looking for any kind of a hood release. We're gonna have a little bit of extra storage space right here in this area. And if you're looking for the area to fill your windshield washer fluid, there's where you're going to do that. Not a lot to talk about up here, but you have dual electric motors. Horsepower will come in at 422 with 400 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is an impressive 3.5 seconds. Your MPGEs will be 127 in the city, 104 on the highway, 116 combined. And if you are curious to know, on a full charge, you can drive about 227 miles. And let's give you the details on charging. Depending on your situation, on a DC fast charger, you're looking at 10% to 80% in 25 to 28 minutes. However, If you do want to charge at home, here are your numbers. On a 2.2 kilowatt, that's going to be your 110 or 120 volt power outlet, about 39.5 hours. We go to the 120 volt low AC, that's going to be the 3.6 kilowatts. That's going to be about 23.5 hours, 11.5 on the 7.2 or 240 volt, or the level 2 charger with the 10 kilowatts will be 8 hours. Overall, I'm curious to know what you think about those numbers. Towing comes in at 3,527 pounds. There is a button right here that you can push to gain access to your cargo area, and depending on how you set things up, we're looking at 12 cubic feet behind the rear seats and up to 32 cubic feet if you lower those seats down flat. Now, there is not going to be a spare tire here or anything like that. You do have a tire repair kit, something that is pretty common with most EVs. Let's talk about what your rear seat passengers are going to find. Not a whole lot going on back here. You'd have a nice view from the panoramic sunroof. There is plenty of real estate to take advantage of that. But here's something very interesting. You have a literal pass-through from the rear seat to the front seat area. You can remove that area if you want to, but you can see that you can reach all the way into the front. That is basically your center console, and then the controls for the windows are going to be right here. So you can see that when we push that, they are one touch down, one touch up, which is good. And you have the USB ports. And then in the traditional sense of regularity, not necessarily EV specific, but you also have your rear seat pockets. The sticker price is $51,245. Let's see what else you get for that price. Now, normally we would go straight to the glove box down here and open that up, but you have to come to the screen to do that. And here's how you do it. You're going to come right there. That's going to open your glove box because it's actually in the center. It's not in a traditional place, but that is where it is. And I'll let my camera guy show you what's going on with the passenger side door panel over there. Not a lot to talk about. You do have a nice large armrest. There's the handle to open the door. But other than that, not a lot going on where that is concerned, because the controls for rolling the windows down and back up are found right here. So you can do that. We can roll that down just like that. Like I said, one touch down, one touch up. But here's what's interesting. You can go like this and bring out your cup holders. If you were wondering, where are the cup holders? Because you have this kind of floating cup holder / console, whatever you want to call it, area. And then we can put those back in. You can have just one, or you can do that. And again, that area right there from this angle that is a pass-through, this is basically your center console. But there is a little bit of storage space underneath the floor. Like I say, a little bit. But you can see there are a couple of USB ports right there. You've got your wireless charging pad up here. If your EX30 wants you to put the card right here to start everything up, then that's where you put it, just so you know. But you do have your wireless charging pad right there in case you were curious to know. It is there. And let me grab the camera and I'll show you what's going on here from the driver's perspective. Now, something that's interesting here, we have the steering wheel and all the different functionality here. If you need to select something and determine, or set it, I should say, it will tell you on the screen, and you'll use the controls right here to do that. Over here, we have the control for our blinkers. And what's interesting, I don't know if you can tell, when I hit the blinker, the sound that accompanies the blinker on the left or the right side is on either side. It's all the way over here on the right-hand side and right here in front of the driver on the driver's side. Here's your shifter, so if you're looking for that, that's in a conventional place, easy to deal with. You're just going to put that into drive like that, go into reverse, all that good stuff. And speaking of that, here is reverse. We can go and look at our different camera views, because you do have quite a few different views depending on what you want to see. In this case, we have the rear view camera, and then we can go back into park. We'll come back to that shortly. But a flat bottom steering wheel, interesting looking, and if you want to adjust that, it is manually adjustable. There is the release right there that allows you to adjust everything. Now we're going to run back over here to the center screen and go right here. You can see the different icons for everything that you have. You're going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone, and you're going to have the Play Store right there. Depending on what you need to do, you can do everything right there. Now, the interesting thing is that here is how you go into drive. That's very interesting. And this is one of those times where it might tell you to put the key into the section down there where the wireless charging pad is. This is basically your driver's display. When I go into reverse like this, that's going to come up, and then we can go and turn a few things on and off. As you can see, depending on what you need to do, you can do that. Just to show you a little bit of what is here, you have multiple camera angles. If you want to see what's going on around you in a few different areas, you can do that. Push that to go back into park, and then we will go back home. Now, air conditioning. That's going to be here on the screen. Here's how you adjust it, and you can see other things that you'll adjust here as well. The fan speed is right next to that, so depending on what you need to do with that, you can set that to auto, manual. You can turn climate off. You can also slide it back and forth just like that. I'm not going to do that for too long because I don't want it to mess with our audio, and change the direction of the airflow. And as I showed you earlier, here is everything you have for the vehicle. To go in to manage your headlights and taillights, here's where you come to do that. You can just leave that set to auto, and you'll never have to worry about anything. And if you're wondering where your hazard lights are, there it is right there. And you'll see the indicator blinking down there. You will also hear the sound as far as that goes. That is what we're going to have. A very unique look as we look across the dash area with your design of your air conditioning vents. And it's actually very clean. But what is really interesting here is that with your Harman Kardon audio system here, you have a large speaker, basically a speaker bar that goes all the way across underneath the windshield right there. No other Volvo has that. That's one of those very interesting features. And something else, let's take a look up here at the upper console. You can see some of your features and functionality here. There is another option for turning the hazard lights on if you want to. One thing that is missing here is a sunglass holder. Kind of curious about that, but it seems like more and more vehicles are going away from that. And a couple more things with the screen I wanted to show you. Number one, you can adjust the audio for everything to be defaulted, such as the radio, your phone calls, voice commands, maps, all of that. Hopefully that was there long enough for you to see it. Let me do it one more time just so you can see that screen. And you can see that everything is preset. So depending on how you want things, notifications, maps, all of that, voice commands. If one is too loud or too quiet, here's where you're going to come to actually fix that. And if you want to relax in your EX30, here is how you're going to do it. So we're going to choose a scene, and then we're going to come over here. Listen to this. I'm already wanting to go to sleep and relax. No, don't go to sleep when you're driving. But there are several different ones to choose from here. Depending on what you want to do, you can turn that on or turn it off just like that. You can hear it. I'm not going to go through every single one, but just so you can see what is here, just some interesting little things that you can do. Now, one thing that is nice here, and let me just go through this real quick. I'm not going to say, hey, you know who, but you can do that. But you notice that you have no air conditioning controls, none of that. If I wanted to say, run the front window defogger, I can do this. Turn on the front window defogger.
Okay, turning on the defroster for the front.
And I know it's kind of loud. Turn off the front window defroster.
Turn off the defroster for the front.
And you can also control the air conditioning. Adjust the fan speed to low.
Sure, changing the fan speed to low.
And you can basically do anything you need to where that is concerned. Anything and everything, that takes care of it. And I wanted to give you a clip of the audio just to let you hear a sampling of that. I've paired my smartphone, and so here is what it sounds like when you're listening to the radio or whatever it is you listen to. We'll try not to go too long with that, but hopefully that gives you a good idea of what it sounds like here in the interior with the Harman Kardon audio. So what is it like to drive this EX30? Well, it has some nice handling characteristics, And to say that it will get up and go, we're going to slow down just a little bit here and step on the pedal. For the way it looks, that would probably surprise somebody in the passenger seat. Like I said, 0 to 60, 3.5 seconds. I did not bring my draggy today, so I can't test that out, but we really don't have a good place to test it today anyway. The ride quality is actually pretty good for being so small and having a shorter wheelbase. A lot of the time, vehicles like that tend to have a little bit of a choppy ride quality to them, but not in this particular case. It seems to be very comfortable here in the front seat, at least. You do have adjustability built into the power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. I didn't mention that earlier in the video, but that is what you have here. And you have your manually adjustable steering wheel. Now with one pedal driving, you can turn that on, you can turn it off, you can adjust how it works. But depending on your situation, you may or may not want to use that. If you're not used to that or know what that is, one pedal driving means when you take your foot off of the power pedal, it will immediately start to slow down. You will feel the vehicle slowing down, and it is using kinetic energy to charge the battery. Actually keep that charge capacity up as long as possible. Now I am surprised at how well it actually handles. It does a decent job. Very interesting to drive, that's for sure. Overall, on the fun scale, I'd say that it ranks fairly high for what it is. You need to get out and drive one of these EX30s if it's something you're wanting to possibly buy. Overall, pretty easy to deal with. The technology here, a little bit of getting used to, I would say, but you do have Google built in, so that's going to make things a little bit easier. There is a lot in the screen, basically everything except for the shifter and the controls for your blinkers and all that good stuff. But that seems to be the way a lot of vehicles are going, whether they're EVs or not. I'm curious to know, what do you think about that? Would you prefer to have more physical controls as opposed to a clean look? And there it is, the 2026 Volvo EX30 Cross Country. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. Is it worth your consideration? I know for some people this may be the ideal vehicle. I'm curious to know if that's any of you who are watching. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Volvo Cars of Shreveport for loaning us this EX30 for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles that you might wish to consider purchasing, check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.